Hey guys, Rilhon here, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to take a look at the Naronic and the Bovic. Let's do a little bit of a tour. So, these are my most recent builds. I finished them actually like a week ago, but they've just been sitting here ready for their release date, which is today. So, let's begin with the Naronic. So, the Naronic of 1892 were pretty much the further enlarged version of the nomadic class, which I released the past week. She is infamous for her disappearance in 1893. She was lost and no one quite knows what happens. She was never seen again. She was traveling from Liverpool to New York. And yeah, 2 of her lifeboats were supposedly found, but they were suspiciously never recovered. There were also several messages in bottles found. One of them claimed that the ship struck an iceberg and sank in a storm, which does seem quite likely, because what else would reasonably happen? She is also named after, or I should say, we don't exactly know what she's named after. She could be named after the Naro language spoken in Botswana, or she might be named after an Italian commune, which is known as a Naro. However, the most likely option, given that most White Star Line ships were named after something related to ancient Greece, sorry. There was an ancient Greece trading outpost called Narona, established in the 3rd to 2nd century BC, so you know that might be it. Since these are livestock steamers, and livestock was a very large part of trade back then, so yeah, that's just an idea. That might be it. But yeah, the Bovic was Naronic's slightly younger sister ship. She was launched in 1892. She is probably named after the word bovinus, which translates to ox, because they are both livestock carriers again. She served for a much longer time. She served during World War I as a cargo ship, and she was sold in 1922 to the Leyland Line, and she was renamed to the Colonial, and she was scrapped in 1928. So yeah, Naronic served a year, while Bovic served for almost 3 decades. Or more than 3 decades. I don't want to do math right now. Anyway, we will do a little bit of a tour. So, compared to the nomadic, Naronic is very similar in many regards. She is a little bit larger. She's wider, longer. She has an enlarged superstructure. She has more accommodations. Yeah, let's check out the boat deck. So this is very similar to nomadic, except that it's one big block. They removed this kind of covered section here that nomadic had. The engine skylight is now up on the boat deck, and the bridge was slightly enlarged. The wheelhouse here, it's quite loud, sorry. Here's the captain's room. I believe the wheelhouse, this was also used as a short room, I'm pretty sure. Let's go down one deck to the, I forgot what this is, it's probably at the main deck or something. So yeah, I decided to make these accommodations a little bit nicer. I should probably go back and make them this nice on Cufic and Nomadic as well, because they were described as very nice, the passenger and crew accommodations. So I made them similar to what the Teutonic had, her corridors. Her mess hall is in here. I don't have plans, I should mention also, for Naronic, her deck plans. I only have a profile plan. So these are based on Cufic and Nomadic. Here's the ship steward. Put a lavatory in here with a bathroom. Further aft we have the cattle master, some cooks, and here is the galley where they cook the food. Another lavatory, as well as some stewards, and then here are a bunch of passenger cabins. Very rarely passengers would travel with the ship, but more often it would be cattlemen or like people that wanted to tended to the livestock, be they cows, horses, pigs, or what have you. So these are all cabins here. Here's the chaplain, and here is the crew area. So we have trimmers and greasers, bath. There's a bunch of lavatories on the inside, and also here for the engineers. And here's a bunch of cabins for the engineers. So we have the chief engineer, second and third, and then fourth, and then the refrigeration engineers. That's a hard word. There's an entrance to the engine room, heading down. More lavatories. I think this is the engineer's mess where they ate. Here are some greasers, trimmers, and here is a boiler room entrance leaning down. One of them, there are two. The other one is over here. No, this is a donkey boiler. Sorry. Here is the. Here it is. And here is the firemen, the people that tended to the boilers. The stokers also, that's another word for them. Here is the pilot that would navigate the ship in harbors. Here is a doctor. And here's a pantry that leads into the mess hall. And here are all officers, so there are 3, it seems, based on Neronic's crew manifest. That comes from Naronic Archive. So as with the other livestock carriers I built so far, a massive thank you to Naronic Archive, who compiled a lot of information about these ships. I couldn't possibly have done it without his help, so very, very grateful for that. Naronic and Bovic have 2 propellers. They have 3 blades each, and they are spaced a little bit apart, just like Teutonic and Majestic. These ships were unique in that they had this little deck house on the stern. The other livestock carriers so far didn't have that. They had a hospital here, and as well as the steering gear was moved up one deck. Let's go forward again, and let's go down one deck to the livestock quarters. I would very much love to like completely fill these with animals, but I can't because I've said this before, but the ships, they lag so much. Hello? Have you escaped? Oh, I guess they jump over that. I would have to do this, I think. Wait. Like that. Well, this guy's free now. You guys name this cow something in the comments. I put some crew areas here in the bow because they were here on Cufic. The carpenter shop, deck engineers, boatswain or boatswain and mate, storekeeper and ice house. So some crew areas here in the bow. There's also the capstan gear here below. And then, yeah, in the middle of the ship, there's a lot of livestock areas, livestock compartments. Then all the way back here in the stern, I put the seaman and cattleman, so they have these large bunks here. As you can see, they also have their own bath and lavatory here. And yeah, this is how it looks on all the decks with the livestock compartments. They have 3 decks in total, 2 like main decks, and then there's one smaller deck here in the bow where they are as well. And then below here it's just cargo compartments. And then of course in the middle we have the boiler and engine hatches. So let's begin with the boiler room. We go down this fiddlist we saw before, all the way down. This the boiler room is based on a plan from Naronic Archive, which is brilliant, and it was also used for the Cufic and Nomadic. We have the coal bunkers here, full of coal, as they would be. They're kind of stocked full of it. Their ships have had massive coal bunkers. And then here is the engine room, very similar to Nomadic and Troric. We have the 2 engines here in the middle powering the 2 propellers. We also have the circulating pumps on the sides. We have some tanks, and then this is the refrigeration gear. And then further up on this platform is the dynamos that powers the ship's electricity. And then up here is the cylinders for the engines, as well as the these rails that you could lift up the cylinders or the tops to provide maintenance to them. There's also a fan here that would force the circulating air all the way down here to make sure the engineers didn't die. And then we have some shaft tunnels here in the stern going all the way back into the propellers. So that's about it. Naronic and Bovic were pretty much identical as far as we know. So I won't go through Bovic. I hope you guys enjoyed this video as always, and I will see you in the next one. On to the Gothic. Take care. Bye bye.